Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Nice. Check, check, check. 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 Cool. I think it's working. Let's see. Okay, how's everybody doing today? We're ready to start hitting some putts here in just a second. Man, it just feels like one of those days I could not drink enough water. So yeah, they're playing, it's called the Texas Children's Houston Open, first round. Got some of that on in the background. We're going to be hitting some putts here, hanging out, chatting with the stream, seeing what's going on with the people. This is actually stream number 2 today. We did one from the golf course earlier. Yeah, hitting some balls at the range and then doing a lot of chipping practice. We did that that stream was a little over 90 minutes, I think. So quite a bit of practice today. Made some time for that. And setting up to do some more. In between, I also did a workout, ran some errands, and came home with a couple new kettlebells. I got to find a place to put those that isn't in the bedroom, or my wife will probably be unhappy with me. But yeah, we got to fix the aim on this guy right about now. To me. Mateo says hi, and Gret Manu says hello. Hello. Thanks for joining the stream here. We're just getting our training station set up here to hit some practice putts. And hang out. We got some golf on in the background. They're talking about these twins, the Højgaard guys, who are both going to be playing in the Masters for the first time. That's a pretty cool story. Nice. Oh, I tell you what, I really wish right about now, I'm wishing I had done the kettlebell workout after the putting, because all that hamstring work, all the deadlifts and kettlebell swings I did, I'm starting to feel it. There we go. Strong little 2-for-2 start here. Hola. ¿Hablas español? Yo puedo hablar poquito de español, pero ahora no practico mucho, entonces mi capacidad es no es mejor. But yeah, I'm very fond of my study abroad time in Spain. That was an incredible experience. Whoa, that one didn't go in, but it went through the gate, so that means the gate must be aimed wrong. Or we adjusted something wrong? Oh, now it's right. Weird. Maybe we just had a lot of hook spin on it. Who could say? Who could say for sure? Oh, pretty excited to start planning out the new streaming and practice area. I was talking about it last night on the stream, but we finally were able to buy a home, and it has a nice big garage in which I'm planning to build a simulator practice area space. That will be pretty sweet. So hopefully we'll have an even nicer area. You know, like when the other night when people were in here asking about drills and stuff, and I'm doing my best to demonstrate stuff live, but I just don't have the space. I don't have, I can't make full swings in here. I can kind of get up to the camera and, demonstrate some stuff, but really excited about that development. To me. Another nice thing is when you get old, you start finding ways to practice sitting down. Oh, it helps when you keep it on the planet. Right? We can just get in here. Boom. Making 3-footers. No, that's just for me feeling old. To me. Okay, so Sung Jae is at 1 under, but what is he hitting? Like 3-iron in here? Oh, and he flagged it too. That was a crazy shot. It almost went in. Wow. It looked like he kind of knifed it at first, but that was sick. Oh no. Oh no. That ain't it. That ain't it either, Chief. Yo, listen up. Here's the story. Lovely. This is all about just putting reps in the bank, I don't need them in March, but when it's tournament time in July, June, July, August, September, I'll be making deposits for my practice bank, and these are the, if you want to make withdrawals, you got to make the deposits. Kiss me. Carfire123 says hi. Hello. What's going on? Thanks for checking out the stream. We're just hanging out, watching some golf, practicing some putting, chatting with the stream. This is actually, just mentioning, stream number 2 on the day, unexpectedly. This one was scheduled. We planned to do this one. I should back up. The stream has convinced me to continue doing the streams, because I definitely didn't plan to do this 3 days in a row, let alone do it earlier today when I went to practice. And I was like, you know what? I'm just out here practicing. Maybe I'll throw the stream on and see if anybody wants to check it out. And so many people did. That was so cool. We were out at the golf course, hitting the range, doing a lot of drills, hitting balls. And then the main one, my main goal for the next couple weeks is chipping. My chipping has been tough. It's been definitely the rustiest area of my game, which makes sense. I have no way to practice it. I was able to practice full swings and some short putts. Those have definitely been feeling good. But you're going to miss greens. Golf is hard. So got to practice that short game. Nice. Let's see what's up in the chat. Carfire says, I tried golf and failed miserably. Well, golf can be hard. I mean, you just got to stick with it if it's something that you're interested in. The first time I went into a golf course or a driving range and hit balls, I was terrible too. I just I got that bug and I was like, hey, I really, this kind of like lights a fire in me. I don't know why, but this is something I want to keep doing and want to keep getting better at. Now here we are. Free Sample says, you have nice hands. I bet your feet are nice as well. Well, come back on the next stream. You might find out. You never know. Not today, but there's been raw feet in here before, I think. Jessica Judd 661 says, hello. Hello, Jessica. Andy Perkins says, aloha golf. What's up, Andy? Thank you guys very much for taking the time to drop a comment in the stream. We're just hanging out, trying to get better today. It's a Thursday. There's golf on. The real pros are playing. We're watching Tony hit a 30-footer for bird. Big Tone, as they call him. Free samples. I feel like my funny response to your comment is worth a sub. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, drop a like, comment, subscribe. All the good stuff. That's what they say, right? All the good stuff. It is free. Don't forget. Free 99. I don't make the price. Nice. This is, again, the kind of putts that I'm going to need to make if I want to keep getting better and improving my scores. Try to reach our plus 2.5 goal for the year. He is saying hi, golf. Yeah. Keep the club straight by bending the body. That's one way to do it, Rax. That's one way to do it. I'm not entirely sure I actually understand what your comment means, but lots of good golf instruction in the chat today. He did say hi, golf. Yeah. I say hi to golf sometimes, if you miss it, like if you haven't got the clubs out of the car for a while, or your first time back at the course after a long winter, you're like, oh, hey, what's up, golf? Doing this again. Although if I'm being honest, I never really say goodbye to golf. It's always kind of on my mind. Oh, really working on the posture and the putting. Thanks for checking out the stream, Carfire. Come back another time. Check it out again. Thanks for being here. Still just, I get too hunched, and this is what I'm trying to avoid. So trying to keep some height in my posture. Again, I'm trying to exaggerate this a little bit, knowing that when I get out there, I'm really going to be focused and I will kind of get even in there a little bit closer to it. But that's what my main focus has been. Along with the tempo, it's just you got to have that little pause at the top of the stroke or the swing. Carfire, you sub. Thank you very much for subbing. If you guys are in here enjoying the stream, you want to hit sub, $3.99. Like I said, I don't make the price. That's awesome, Carfire. I appreciate you. Check out the shorts and the videos too. Drop a comment. If you come from the stream and you see a video or comment that you like, drop in there and say, hey, I'm from the stream. It's like the Matrix. I saw you somewhere else and now you're here on my feed. Oh, this dog. You guys can't see, but there's a dog sleeping in my office next to me. It's very adorable. But she's very camera shy, so. Just staying hydrated, making putts on a Thursday afternoon. Making new friends, new subscribers. These are OG tickets. You know, I was saying earlier today, like, when this channel has tens of thousands or 100,000 subscribers, you can say like, hey, I was here before there were 500. I think that's our next landmark, right? 500. Coming up fast. Remember, we were just talking about 400. Before that, 300. I mean, the support has like honestly been so insane. I'd never expected to get so many views, so many subscribers so fast. I mean, it's not even been 90 days, guys, since we started this channel. That's all because of you guys. I mean, you show up for me. It motivates me to keep pumping out content, keep doing the live streams. Ropey Loads, what an unbelievable name. I can't believe I have to say this out loud. Ropey Loads said, bro, I know this is off topic, but your ink is fire. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that's a dangerous habit. I tell people golf is addicting, and I don't really talk about it much because it doesn't overlap that much with golf, but I am obviously a heavily tattooed person. And that is also a pretty addicting hobby. You guys might like this story. Or Ropey Loads, this is for you. I can't believe I'm saying this. I remember I got my very first tattoo and I was like, I'm going to get one. I'm going to be a one tattoo guy. I don't need any more than that. Like, you know, just something like kind of small, nondescript. Obviously, I was wrong, right? I look like this. So you will be wrong about things in your life. That's okay. You're not going to get it right the first time. Trust me. But, you know, if you stay positive, you keep making progress, you know, small steps every day. I put that in a bunch of my videos all the time. Like, it's so important. You just have to start, you know, whatever it is, whether it's golf, you know, sports, music, that's just good. You know, that's just how you make progress in things. It's just, you know, determined effort over a long period of time. It's not those moments of like when you feel really motivated, you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm going to go do it. That's not when it happens. It happens, you know, when it's 10 o'clock at night and you're like, man, I would love to go to bed right now, but I could do another hour of work or, you know, something, you know, another bit of practice. That's, you know, when you really make progress and make breakthroughs. So I credit the channel to with a lot of that, right? Like, it's really lit a fire in me. Some of that is, you know, the circumstances of my life changing to be more accommodating to golf, but, you know, which is what really allowed me to start the channel in the first place. But these are all kind of things that upcycle along, you know, against each other, right? So I had the time to make the channel. So I made the channel that I wanted to do. And I said, hopefully that will help me, you know, practice more and continue like pushing on this drive to get better. You know, while learning how to create content and, you know, do things like this that are completely new to me. You know, sitting here in my office, talking to the live stream full of people. And I just started doing it. Ropey Loads has subbed. I appreciate that very much. The name is still just really, it doesn't feel great coming out of your mouth, but I'm excited to check out your channel after I get done streaming. And hopefully it's not what I think it is. Unless it's all about this guy, Roger Goodell, and then you can, you know, talk about Ropey Loads all you want. Stinker of a guy. Boom. We're draining putts on a Thursday. They're talking to some guy in the fairway here. I still think these broadcasts, they're getting better, the PGA Tour broadcast, but there's still something kind of missing. It's just like, give us shot tracers and show us a lot of golf shots. And like, just less people in front of a microphone talking and more people playing golf who are really, really good at golf. That's personally what I would love to see more of on a PGA Tour broadcast. But I'm just a guy on the internet that nobody listens to. So here we are. Oh, BC Golf is in the chat saying hi. What's up, BC Golf? We're staying hydrated, hitting some putts, watching some golf on a Thursday, having fun with the stream. Tell you what, guys, it really is starting to pay off. All this extra practice because of the channel. So I'm grateful for that. All the support, all the growth. I mean, it is motivating. Like, I didn't have any meetings today, so I drove 30 minutes to the golf course to practice and did another stream. And, I'm getting better in real time because of the, engagement and, support from all of you guys. So, if you're here now and then, 6 months or, 3 months go by and you see me in another video and you're like, wow, that seems like a really low score. It's because of you guys. Because there will be low scores coming. I'm telling you that. One of my main objectives for the spring is to try and play a bunch of rounds from the forward tees. It's a great idea, I think, if you're at a pretty high level, but, somebody like me who, I still, if I get to like 3 or 4 under par in a round, I start being like, all right, let's just steer it home. And I think playing some rounds from the front tees where your goal is like, let's just make as many birdies as we can and post the lowest number. I think that'll be a great exercise for me to work on scoring and just, feel comfortable in those types of moments. So, yeah, that's what the forecast for the season looks like. Feeling pretty optimistic about it. Last year was really tough, just injuries and changing careers, a lot of stuff going on. I did not have nearly as much time as I will now going forward to practice and be committed to improving my game. The nice part is, the more committed I am, the more I go and practice, the more opportunities there are for making content, for sharing that journey with you guys, for, making new friends and adding new subscribers, like all that great stuff. So it's all just, you see some positive stuff start to happen and you just build on that, right? It's, what do I say? One small step every day. Small steps every day. You'll get where you want to go. "150 people are watching. Give yourselves a pat on the back for the support." Drop a like if this is your first time checking out our stream, hanging out. We usually get a bunch of return viewers, satisfied customers, if you will. But yeah, drop a like if this is your first time hanging out and you're having a good time watching the stream. We got some golf on. Scotty's playing. What's he in the fairway at 12? They were talking earlier about how they're trying to set this course up just like Augusta. It's, similar rough length and bunker setup. They're calling it the Texas Children's Houston Open now. Nice strike from Scotty. I mean, those fairways look absolutely perfect. Like he's hitting off of a velvety carpet of grass. Look at all those reactions and likes in the chat. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable, the amount of support. I'm glad that the message, seems to be resonating, right? There's so many, you don't have to look very far in the world nowadays to be like, oh, well, that seems bad, or that feels negative. So to try to put something that's positive out into the world, I think is mostly what's resonating with people. Because if you want to watch golf, I mean, there's plenty of good golfers out there. You can just watch pros on YouTube, but if you're willing to talk about real stuff and share your experience, I think that's what people want, right? Everybody's so sick of the somebody wins a big game, they get in front of a microphone, they're like, yeah, the team played hard and I did my very best, and props to the other team, they were great too, and yep, thanks for being here. It's like that's boring, man. Like, people want to hear about your life and what it felt like. Like, And I think that's also why golf is so relatable, right? Like even if you're a 20 handicap, you've definitely, if you played golf long enough, you've made a birdie, right? You've hit an amazing wedge shot to 4 feet and made a birdie. Like it's right there. It's so close. Like, once in a while you can get it out and say like, oh, I can hit that same quality of shot that guy on TV can, right? Nobody who watches the NBA, unless you play basketball, right? Nobody's out there saying like, man, if only like every once in a while when I play pickup, I also do like a 360 windmill dunk, just like LeBron. Like that doesn't happen. But in golf, it's right there. It's so close and touchable. And so I think it's really unique in that sense. And just the amount of appetite for golf right now seems astonishing. So stay positive out there, guys. It's a weird time, but it's kind of always a weird time. That's been my experience throughout my 30 plus years. Antoine Rosner. He must have hit a good one. Because he's even par and they're showing him hitting into 18. Oh, yeah. Stoofed. Go in. Oh, it sure did. Of course. That's why they're showing him. Good two, bro. Good two from the fairway. Wow. Gosh, that course really is quite reminiscent of Augusta National, isn't it? Yeah, this is a really productive day, guys. A lot of good short game stuff. We hit a ton of wedges at the range today. A lot of chipping. Got to break out the giant fun bag of shag bag balls. There's probably what 40 golf balls in there, and if I hit that, I don't know, 6 or 8 times, that's like 300 chip shots. So some good progress, and then we'll hit a bunch of putts on the stream and do some yoga tonight, and that'll be a solid day of golf plus content plus just normal life stuff. Gonna make some dinner here for the fam in a minute. Jerry Pinez says, I like the picture. Yeah, this is a good one. It's all kind of in disarray because we're about to move, so I should probably try not to break it. Well, I'll deal with that later. Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff back here. This is actually one of the few golf things. This is a golf course in Arizona. I played Core Crenshaw, Weekopa. That was pretty sweet. Oh, we shouldn't cover up the picture that people like. And what's this one? This one's Tobacco Road over here. This is a cool one. I think my dad got me that. So yeah, weird time being like in between, not yet moved, but like starting to be packed up. So that's kind of weird, but trying to do the best you can in like a liminal sort of moment. Stroke feels really good, guys. I'll say that. It's all about getting the reps in. Oh man. Never thought I'd say I'd be doing 2 streams in a day, plus, filming some content, doing a workout, do some more yoga later. This stream was planned. One earlier was a bit more spontaneous, but still really successful. I mean, I was so pleased with, the engagement and the support. So I think the hardest part of continuing to do that going forward will just be making sure that my phone is charged adequately. I don't know if anybody else struggles with that, but I'm always the like, who has a phone charger guy? There we go. That softness in transition, just letting it feel like the putter just kind of hangs in space for a second. That's really kind of what I'm trying to key in on. A bit redundant, that sentence there, but Simon asked, what's the biggest fish you caught? Tough question. I've only caught a fish maybe twice. The biggest one definitely was a sea bass that my buddy cooked up and we ate out on his boat. That was off of Block Island. I've never had much interest in fishing just because I don't think I have the patience. I mean, golf is hard enough. Like a slow play really bothers me, but I don't have the patience for fishing. But I was saying last night, even I love when people do have hobbies like that and are super into them because it's cool to be really into your hobby. The days of like it's uncool to be enthusiastic about your hobby are behind us, right? Like life is hard enough. We're all just trying to get by, and if you find something that makes you happy and isn't making the world worse, then by all means, like be enthusiastic about it. So small fish is the answer, I suppose, because I think it was probably like 5 or 6 pounds, if that's a reasonable size for a fish to be. I mean, it was like probably like 14 inches long, maybe, but it wasn't that. It was not a big fish. Rockness asked, "What game are you playing?" So this is a training drill for putting in golf, and this training station is set up to make sure that I start the ball on my intended target line. So this station is aimed where it will go into the cup down there, and there are these ball bearings here on either side that create a gate. So if I don't hit the ball where I want to, I'm going to hit the gate, and then I'll fail, right? So in order to successfully complete the drill and train myself to hit my target line, I set up the gate there, and that's what the first part is. The second part is this well stroke mat that has a great arc imprinted on it, as well as some other indicators for like where you might want to set up your feet and making sure that your putter is nice and square to your target line. So I have all these things in place to train myself to start the ball on line on these short putts where it especially matters. Are the hockey sticks expensive? I think hockey sticks are expensive. These are golf clubs. The clubs can be expensive. They can also be, pretty reasonable. I was actually just at a used sporting goods store today, and I was quite surprised that there was, a relatively accessible price for a number of quality used clubs. Like drivers for $50 or $60, and so a price that is still substantial for people to get access to golf, but certainly far below what would be required to purchase brand new equipment. So I think that's a great way. Also, if you're starting out in golf, you don't need 14 clubs. You don't have to go buy a whole set of irons. You can go to the store and get a driver and a 6/8 iron and a pitching wedge, and get out on the course and start learning and having a great time. So don't feel like you need all kinds of fancy equipment to get into golf. Oh, wow, that's a really nice comment from Free Samples. You seem so genuine and nice. You're going to have no problem with growing a following. I really appreciate that. Those are the kinds of comments that, make it much easier to deal with the people last night who were like, you're going to go to hell if you don't, laser off all your tattoos immediately. And I was like, I'm really glad that you came into, a place where I'm hanging out with people to tell me that. But that was a very nice comment. Thank you for saying that, Free Samples. Rockness is saying you got to get one of those in your house. Yeah, the good news is that this is pretty, at least this setup, you don't even need the part with the cup down here. I mean, you could practice just on a carpet with this trainer, or even just, you could set one up with a couple other golf balls, right? And just set it up like this and say, I have to, if I don't hit the ball between the gate, I'm not going to make it. And then you can, set that up like a little bit wider if you're just starting out, right? I like the Pels tutor because it is all, it's nice and sturdy, and these ball bearings aren't going anywhere. So, plus this is also scalable, right? These ball bearings move back. So if you're just starting out, again, there's like a an easy, medium, and hard mode. I just keep it on hard mode because, I've kind of passed the, you know, I still do this about 95%. So, when do I stream? Well, it's a great question. I've only done a handful of streams up until this week when I did one, I think on Tuesday maybe, that did really well. And people were like, you should keep streaming, like do another stream tomorrow. So that's what I did. So I think that's maybe going to be the plan going forward, is to try to stream for like an hour in the evenings, like around this time, close to 7 days a week. It definitely won't end up being 7 days a week, but right around this time is what I'm hoping to do. Like I was mentioning earlier, once we're in the new space, and I have the a simulator set up, and I am able to set up a studio kind of area with some putting stuff, it will be even easier to make this compelling, right? Like I was saying the other night about wanting to demonstrate some drills and maybe hit some balls. I just don't have the space in here to do that. So that was a very long answer to your question about when I stream, but right around this time, and hopefully more going forward is the answer. There we go. I think I just saw for a second there might have been like 250 people in here watching, which, I mean, that feels hard to understand. Again, guys, we just started. Like, I think I posted my first video on January 6th, maybe. It was like the first week of January. And I just never really saw it coming. I thought it would take a year to get to 500 subscribers if I posted every day for a year. That was, I think, what I wrote down was either 500 or 1,000. I don't know. But I'm very grateful for the audience, and that people seem to think something I have to say is of value. So that's pretty cool. Say that. Anybody else watch any of the first round of this Texas Children's Open today? Looks like 500 was the number. Nobody's gotten past that. Although Højgaard still has some holes left, and he's at 500. So maybe there's a couple deeper than that, but that feels like about the number. I like this Highsmith guy, and I love that he wears the big hat. I think I have the same one, the big Titleist hat. On those extra sunny days, I always break that one out. Besides the tattoos, I mean, I was talking about it maybe last night or the night before. You're going to start seeing a lot more content about, I mean, not a ton, right? But like, a few shorts here and there about just how important sun protection is. I think we don't talk about it enough in general, and especially not in the golf world, where outside of like simulators or stuff like this, where you can practice inside, we just do not talk enough about how important sun protection is. I mean, the game is played outside, in the daylight, in the sun, with relatively little protection. And we know now, we know that there are ways you can protect yourself, and how damaging it is to have prolonged sun exposure. Like, our grandparents could at least have plausible deniability to be like, well, nobody told us. We can't say that. We know now. So get your sunblock, wear those sleeves. I wear the sleeves. Part of that's protecting the investment I made in the art that I carry around in my skin, for sure. But yeah, wear the sleeves, get the big hat. The sun is no joke. I've seen what skin cancer can do to people. It is gnarly. Siege Goat, back on day 2. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. Okay, blade versus mallet. Average score is 95. So here's 2-part answer. Number 1, personal preference, I think, outweighs everything in putting. So if you are willing to commit to putting with a blade putter, something like this, then you just have to know, what comes with that. It's going to be much less forgiving. It could potentially be more difficult, with speed control on mishits. But it's certainly appealing to look down at. No argument there. I mean, I keep this around. This is a 20-plus-year-old putter with a sound slot in it, an really old Scotty Cameron. I'll never get rid of this one. This is a cool club. The old Titleist on the face. So that's my long-winded answer. Personal preference, but I am of the opinion that we know speed control is so important, and I just think the forgiveness, the MOI difference in a mallet is worth it if you can find one that you like. I tried for a lot of last year. Part of why my scores went up was I tried a lab putter, but I tried the broomstick model. So I am curious about trying a shorter version. I've ultimately gone back to a short putter because I just could not control the speed enough. Like I was hitting, I'd hit 15 greens and shoot 77 because I had 39 putts. And I was just 3-putting all over the place. Oh, that's crazy. You're the same Scotty? What are the odds of that? They don't seem high. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a cool Scotty. I'll treasure that one. But I think I putt better with a mallet. I've got this. This is also an old one. This is the first generation of the Spider Tour, and this one has some battle scars on her, but she's been good to me for the most part. And I feel pretty committed to sticking with this putter. I think it's important to have something else to switch up to once in a while. Or like if you're playing a silly round and your putting's been bad, then like why not grab your buddy's putter or take something like this off the bench. But I don't putt well enough to not have as much forgiveness as I possibly can. Is ultimately how my thought process landed. So yeah, I'd love to answer any more questions like that. That was a great one. Blade versus mallet. I think there was a PJ Tour video about blade versus mallet that came out recently. They were asking some guys about, I haven't watched the full video, but they were asking some tour guys about, their preferences and what they think about one style versus another. Why is it that lefties always have the best swings? This Highsmith guy just has the nicest swing. Something about being left-handed. It just looks so nice. I have a close friend who's left-handed, also a scratch player, +1 player, and just the best swing. It just always looks so nice from that side of the ball. Shout out C-Money if you're out there. Spider GTX is a good one, yeah. I think it was a comment recently. I just really think this is one of the best putters, that they've made in a long time. Guys have kept using it. Its success really speaks for itself. I mean, they've won. The Spider, I think, has won, at least probably 10 majors now between DJ and Jason Day and a couple different guys. Rory for sure. Although I don't know if he was using the Spider back when he was winning majors. That was so long ago. Someone could fact check me on that one. But it's just a really, really successful model. It looks great behind the ball. It does what it's supposed to do. It's super consistent off the face. Yeah. There are new Spiders supposedly maybe coming out this year. Or maybe they already did come out. I might be a cycle behind on my equipment news. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, drop a like. Smash that subscribe button if you want to. You don't have to. But the good news is about the subscribe button, I just found out today it's free. It doesn't cost any money to push the subscribe button. Free 99. But what do I know? I didn't make it that price. Oh, stroke just feels so good, all the practice we've been doing. Heading towards 10 minutes till the hour here. Let sleeping dogs lie, right? That's what they say. My canine friend over here, she's having a nice snooze. So I'm just gonna keep putting until she tells me otherwise. There we go. Who has plans to play golf this weekend? I do. Playing on Saturday. It's gonna be freezing, colder than today, but I'll still be out there trying to get better, trying to get the ball in the hole. Anybody else playing this weekend? Oh, terrible stroke. Okay, you're playing next Monday. And I'm so sorry. I love to call people by their name, but it just shows me the character. But thank you very much for commenting, engaging with the chat, jumping in here. I do think mallets are the future. I mean, I know they say it's still close to 50-50 out there on tour, but I think we might look back at blade putters the way we look at like persimmon woods. Like eventually we just invented something different or something better, and it just was better. Like maybe it's lab technology, the zero torque thing, maybe, but there could be that kind of paradigm shift in putting, But who knows? That's not a prediction. It just is a thing that could happen. Oh, I forgot to bring my my speed sticks in from the car, so we'll have to use this guy to do some stretching. Ah, yes, Korean. Okay, cool. We've had a few Korean subscribers and commenters on the channel. I was just talking the other night about it. It's so cool how international the audience is. You get the stats on YouTube and tells you where all the different people are watching from, and it's really all over the world. And even in the stream chat, we've had people from Indonesia and Scotland and Italy, and Korea now. Just people from all over the place, which I think is one of the coolest parts about having a platform like this is just being able to interact with a global audience. I don't know about this playing through thing. I just kind of feel like I'm still watching an ad. And I'm finding myself wishing there were fewer ads, but I suppose it's better than not watching golf at all. Oh, don't mind me while I try to keep the back loosened up. Sycamore asks, what is wrong with a blade putter? Oh, there's nothing wrong with it at all. First thing when the question came up was, personal preference is number one. And if you have a blade that you like and you're willing to practice with it, you can get an awesome blade putter. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I've been waxed on the putting green by guys, putting with old school blades. I was just wondering, given, all of the movement towards these new lab putters and more guys going to mallets, just given the forgiveness. And I think strategically now, we know how important speed control is, and three putt avoidance is so key to scoring. I was wondering if at some point the drawbacks of a blade, right, being less forgiving, could influence enough guys to have the majority of guys use it. Obviously, look at Tiger; he won a ton of golf tournaments putting with a blade. He also was a maniac and never missed the center of the face. So both can be true. Is this Rick? Rick's been playing a little better, huh? He's been getting lots of airtime recently in these smaller tournaments. The main problem is me. Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. It's usually not the putter. It's usually the putter, meaning the player. James says nothing looks better than a classic blade. Yeah, I agree. I think there's lots of blades that look great. I wasn't willing to make the trade anymore. The trade of, you know, not enough forgiveness and three putting more, because maybe now. I mean, I've done this drill station. How many thousands of times. Um, you know, Maybe my stroke is fundamentally different now, where I could go to a blade and not notice much of a difference. Um, but and I'm sure this putter will come out. I mean, you'll see this putter used in a video at some point, simply because I'll have a bad round or miss a bunch of putts, and sometimes you just got to look down at something different. And I think you don't have to change your stroke or your approach or anything, but just be like, hey, we're going to give that putter a break. And just like it's not the putter's fault, the putter won't, make or break the day either, right? If you have a great putting day, doesn't matter what's in the bag, you're going to have a great putting day. Your stroke definitely looks consistent enough for a blade. Yeah, I think that's probably true. But I would need to see it on the golf course to convince myself. And just practice with it a lot. But also, maybe you guys will like this. This is a super clean top line here on this one. No dots, no lines. This is just, as clean and clear as it gets. Sycamore says, I putt with an open stance. It gives me a chance for my shoulders to come straight through the shot. Yeah, I think, again, putting is one of those things that is so personal, and can be done a thousand different ways. Here's the bottom of that. This is a 2003 Scotty Cameron with the sound slot, Newport Beach. The old Titleist in the face there. So it just really depends. Personal preference is so important. There's been times I've putted great, getting like really close and in here, but it just wasn't consistent enough long term for me. So I went to a much more traditional, like, shoulders apart, square, everything up, and just try to start the ball in line as best I can. So you get kind of mad when you three putt for double bogey. Yeah, me too, man. There's nothing worse than three putting for a double. That feels awful every time. But that's why we keep practicing, right? Because maybe the next time you got to chip out and then you hit it on the front of the green, you got a back pin, and you'll remember, like, hey, I left it 6 feet short and three putted for double the last time. That kind of stunk. Got to walk it in here for this first putt, and you got to draw on that experience. And you still might three putt it, but eventually you won't. Oh, had the face shut a bit on that one. Yeah, it's already Thursday. I've got a tee time on Saturday. Anybody else playing golf this weekend? Lovely. Lovely. If you're having a good time hanging out, last time I'll say it tonight, call to action. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing more live streams. We're going to keep pumping out content, trying to get better at golf, continuing this journey, trying to see how low can we go is really the question. Sycamore asks, being a right-handed putter, is it easier for you to see right break versus a left break? It's a good question. I never felt like I read greens all that poorly, but once I started doing the aim point express, reading it with your feet, that really helped me get a lot of confidence over my reads. But generally speaking, I would rather have a right to left putt than a left to right one. Simply because of my tendency is to miss to the left, so I find that I make more of those putts when I miss them. You know, when I miss my line, I should say. Like if I don't make my best stroke. But that's why we're here practicing with the Pels tutor and the gate, and hoping to avoid that problem. Oh, let's get set up here. By just, but I mean, you're always going to have a tendency. I've just always felt like I putted right to left ones better. Which is why it was nice to find out that my floor that you guys are looking at does break slightly to the right. So this putt I've been practicing for, you know, hours and hours. It's a nice like inside left, you know, slightly breaking to the right putt. So getting tons of practice on those ones. So that's my answer. I don't think, I wouldn't say one is easier to see than the other though. All right, guys, we're going to rip through one more set here. Sycamore asked, do you spread your feet differently on a long putt versus a short putt? I don't. I try to set up everything pretty much identically for every length of putt. You know, so I have the same process. You'll hear me say it on video sometimes. I'll even say to myself, same process, same routine. Same process, same routine. And that's like just a little reminder to myself, like I do the same thing. You know, I look at my target. I make, you know, a couple quick practice strokes. I'm looking, you know, at my target to, you know, get it really dial in the depth perception, right? Speed is, you know, the primary thing that we're worried about in putting, especially distance putting, right? Outside of 10 feet, all you're trying to do is not three putt. And then I hover the putter and then I stroke it. So long-winded answer for no. I do my same setup and everything. One difference, though, I will say on short putts versus long putts, as again, another reminder to myself, if I'm inside of 10 feet, and truly, like if it's 11 feet, I'm not doing it. But inside of 10 feet, I will use the line on the ball to aim myself and, you know, get in there behind it and like really line it up and make sure it's aimed exactly where I want it to be aimed. And because those are the putts where making them, you know, is so accretive from a strokes gain perspective. Conversely, so if I have a 15-foot putt, all I care about is not three putting. Like truly, I mean, yeah, it's nice to make some of those putts, but like you're not supposed to make them. You're just supposed to not three putt them. So what I'll do is outside of 10 feet, I set the ball down with just, you know, a blank spot or even maybe the logo, but something that's not in the line, right? To again remind myself, this isn't about making the putt. The line isn't, you know, you have to aim your ball still, but the goal is to just get it as close to the hole to make your next putt as easy as possible. So that's what I'll do to kind of remind myself is use that blank part of the ball for a longer putt. So maybe that tip is helpful. Does that help, Sycamore, answer your question? Sycamore said yes. Okay, awesome. Strokes feeling really good. I think tomorrow, I don't know if it'll be on, we're definitely going to do the evening live stream. That's locked in. You guys can pencil that one on your calendar. But I am going to try to go to the golf course again and do a bunch of lag putting drills and just really try to dial in my speed and do some, you know, some ladder drills, you know, really trying to develop that feel, build that muscle of rolling 30 footers as close to the hole as I can, right? I don't care if they go in. I just want to, hit it in that 3 foot, 2 foot circle. 10% of your first putt distance is a good barometer for success, right? So if you have a 40-foot putt, 10% of that is 4 feet. So if you hit it inside of a 4-foot circle around the hole from 40 feet, you've done well. Like, don't be mad that you're like, oh, I still have a 4-footer to make. Like, that's you did your job on that 40-foot putt. And you'll hear me talk about expectation management, right? That's going to be something I'm working hard on in my own game, and I think it will just help my scores. Because I'm somebody who can get pretty tough on myself out on the golf course, and I don't think it helps. So I'm just going to try something different. Because I've been tough on myself for 15 years of playing golf. I never have felt really outside of like a discipline to practice perspective, but on the golf course, I just don't think it helps. My best scores are when I'm having the most fun. I have the most fun when I shoot the best scores. So like, why not try to just have fun all the time and, see if the scores follow. There's always a way where you can find an optimistic spin, or a perspective. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are, That's why I talk so much about how important gratitude is. Like, there are people in hospital beds all over the world who would, give every penny they have, cut off a limb, whatever, just for their health back, right? To be able to trade places with me, who's standing here, in my office, talking to you guys, practicing my putting. So, perspective makes a big difference. All right, this could be a clean sheet here on the last set of the stream. One more time, guys, if you're enjoying the content, go check out some shorts, drop some likes. If you feel like I earned it, hit that subscribe button. We'll see if we can make this last putt here. Right in the middle. That feels good. Great way to end the stream, guys. Until next time, swing hard always.